So here are the bear canister, well, I guess bear poles. We didn't have any problems last night hanging our food upside down. Some people have talked about mice. Then if we head up our hill, this was our campsite, site 2 at, what is it, Johnson, no? James Creek, James Lake Camp. And then, I hope nobody's up here in the toilet because some people have not been marking it with their poles. But if you go up here, you've got the throne on the top of a little hill. So it's pretty awesome. I won't show the inside because nobody wants to see that. Your thoughts? How'd you sleep? Oh, that's no good. Alright. It's about 8 o'clock.
I'm going to head to Rainier Station, get some water, and then probably we may head to mowage.
So what we've been doing is getting water and putting it into this one, but it doesn't fit the Sawyer just perfectly, so, but it gets a ton of water, so we've just been moving it over into the Sawyer bags, which seems to work pretty good. Kind of hard to tell, but there's the lake right by where we stayed. Lake James, if you... Pretty big. The person next door to us said he went swimming in it. We didn't really have time, so... Here is the ranger station right by, and it's got a solar powered outhouse, so that's really nice. Not pretty locked up. Maybe it's for wintering. So all locked up. If you want to peek in here, got a coffee machine. Then if we go over to the other side, got a desk, and I don't know where the beds are. We've been going up and up and up, and for about the last hour and a half. We stopped by the ranger station as we saw. There's just a pretty spot with a little babbling brook and some wooden stairs, and we have just come up a ton. So it's amazing how you'll go around a corner and suddenly the landscape, yeah, exactly, totally changes. You know, we've got all this granite around us now. And any comments, Alex? Okay. If you are a fan of blueberries, this is definitely a hike to come on.
But it also has some bears on it.
Well, bears like blueberries. So, you know, it's just been a day of up, up, up. I don't know if you can see the downed trees everywhere over there. It's like there was a forest fire over there or something. Or I don't think they can log in the national forest, so well, we've been climbing for probably a good 2,000 feet. Yeah, so this has been rather heckish, but the views have been extraordinary. Well, we're still climbing up, but I think you can probably hear the wind in the microphone. So I think we're getting pretty close. Yeah, what do you think, Alex?
Well, I see somebody.
I see somebody coming up the trail as well. Okay. Yeah, we've come into another meadow of sorts, and the trail has flattened out, which is extremely nice after that brutal uphill. Well, we're at 5,700 feet and we're going down to 2,900. So this should be the end of the climb. It's been a beautiful, beautiful hike though. Just slow. Well, we've come to what seem like endless switchbacks, and the view is still gorgeous meadows and hills. Any observations, Alex? Harder? Yeah, it's tiring after yesterday. We just stopped for lunch. Now we're headed back down towards Ipsut Creek, and it's about 2 o'clock. Okay, so got a few miles left to go, but it should be all downhill. There is a outage at Carbon River, so but you should be able to cross across the rocks. So, and nobody's had wet shoes, so that's a good sign.
Probably more safe than our first one.
So we've just crossed out of the meadows into trees again. So this is much shadier and nicer, and yeah.
It's definitely another 3 hours probably of walking, then maybe 4.
Alex thinks 3 or 4 more hours. I think that's reasonable. We just kind of did, there's a nasty little cliff along the side of the trail here. Neither of us fell and died though, so that's good. Anything to add?
I think from the map we aren't even going to cross this river for a while.
We just stopped in the woods here to rest our dogs a little bit.
Yeah, we aren't moving very quick.
No, yesterday was pretty tiring.
So it makes sense that we aren't going as quick today.
Yep. So it should all be downhill and flat, so we're not too worried about it. It's now, what time now?
3 o'clock basically.
3 o'clock, so
We got in 7 o'clock yesterday, so I think we'll get in.
it'll take about 3 hours.
We'll be back in about 6.
Yep.
And we'll be back yesterday, 7.
Yep. These blackberries are so tiny. There's the tip of my hiking pole for comparison. They're probably about half the size of a normal one. I think that's just interesting. So how's the climb down going, Alex? Well, we're nearly there. We're almost onto the Wonderland off the Northern Loop. Yep, all right. We will catch you up as we proceed. So here's our process for getting water. Alex fills up our huge plastic container. The threading on it doesn't quite match our filter, so we just use it for collection because it has a nice wide mouth. And then we pour it into one of the Sawyer squeeze bottles. As you can see, that brings out a ton of water. Anyhow, I just thought I'd update that on that. Alex goes with the clean hand, dirty hands. I am the clean hands. So here's the first time we've seen the mountain today. It's still a little smoky and hazy, but it's still not wearing its hat, and it's still, it's amazing to see it from a different angle now. So, makes you realize how far we've come. Anyhow, catch up later. So we've had a couple of bridges out, and this is pretty typical. If you look down though, it turns into a roaring rapids. So one slip and you could be in big trouble. I think we're going to try across the dry rocks right there. Yeah. So these rivers can get moving mighty fast. As you can see from all the white caps, there's a bridge thankfully on this one. So otherwise we would have been up a river without a paddle. Anyhow, any comments, Alex? The amazing thing about this is as you cross, you get just vertigo like you would not believe from the moving water going underneath you. It makes it a very disorienting experience if you look down. So look where you're headed instead. And we both made it safely across. The amazing part is, you know, like I said, how many different biomes there are that you get to see in the park. And here we're coming into like a, you know, temperate rainforest with, you know, this is the first time we've seen moss in a long time that aren't just baby moss. These are full grown, and, you know, you've got trees other than spruces. So, yeah, I guess we're down lower. What do you think, Alex?
We're down lower.
Yep. I don't know if you can tell here, but you can see where the glacial meets the brown water that's from a different glacier. That's kind of nifty. And then sometimes you get bridges that really make no sense because you could just continue the path along the side, but instead you get bridges. So it's always something new on the trail, and that's what makes it so great. That, you know, we're still chasing the... Is this the carbon? Or the Ipsut? One of the two. Just got our first wildlife of the night, and of course we're at Ipsut Creek Campground. So, of course they aren't in the park, they're in the campgrounds. And there goes the deer out of